How to Win Every Day. The Routine of Success. Written and published by Vox Reads. Introduction. The daily game of life. Every day is a new game. The clock resets, the world begins again, and you get another chance to win, or to waste it. This book is about that game. The daily game. The one that decides who you become, what you achieve, and how far you go. It's not about luck, talent, or timing. It's about routine. The small, simple actions you repeat every single day. If you've ever felt stuck, lost focus, or struggled to stay consistent, you're not alone. Most people start strong and fade fast because they treat success like a sprint. But real success is a rhythm. It's built through habits, not bursts of effort. This audiobook is designed to help you build that rhythm, to win each day with intention and clarity. You'll learn how to master your mornings, protect your focus, manage your energy, and close every night with purpose. You'll discover how tiny actions, done consistently, can change your confidence, your mindset, and your results. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Winning the day doesn't mean doing everything right. It means doing the right things with focus and heart. So as you listen, think of this book as your coach for daily success. Each chapter is a step in building a routine that works for you, one that keeps you disciplined, energized, and moving forward, no matter how busy or uncertain life becomes. Because in the end, life rewards consistency more than intensity. The secret to long-term success is found in what you do today, and every day after that. So take a deep breath. Reset your focus. This is where the journey begins. Welcome to How to Win Every Day. The Routine of Success. Chapter 1. The Morning Mindset. Every day begins long before your feet touch the floor. It starts in your mind, before you open your eyes, before you check your phone, before you face the world. Your thoughts are already shaping the kind of day you will live. That's the power of the morning mindset. It's not just about waking up early, it's about waking up with purpose. Because if you don't start your day with a direction, the day will decide it for you. The first battle of the day. The moment you wake up, the battle begins. One voice says, stay in bed a little longer. Another says, get up and start strong. That small decision, whether to rise or to roll over, might seem minor, but it carries a hidden message. It tells your mind who's in charge. If you give in to comfort first thing in the morning, you teach your mind that comfort comes before progress. But if you rise with intention, you teach yourself that discipline leads the day, and that one act of getting up when you said you would, that's your first victory. Winning that first moment sets the tone for everything that follows. You start the day leading, not reacting. You create momentum before the world even wakes up. Why morning matters? Think about this. The morning is the only time of day truly under your control. Before the messages arrive, before the noise begins, before life starts pulling you in every direction, that's your time. What you do with it determines the quality of your mindset for the rest of the day. Successful people guard their mornings like treasure. They use that time not just to do but to become. They prepare their mind, their body, and their attitude before stepping into the demands of the world. When you control your morning, you control your mood. When you control your mood, you control your performance. And when you control your performance, you control your results. It all starts with how you think in those first quiet moments. A story about control. Let's imagine two people. The first wakes up late, checks messages, scrolls through social media, and rushes to get ready. Their heart rate is already high. They feel behind before the day has even begun. The second wakes up early, stretches, takes a deep breath, and spends a few minutes in silence. They think about what they want from the day. They move slowly but intentionally. When they step into the world, they feel centered and in control. Who do you think will perform better? The difference isn't talent, it's mindset. It's preparation versus reaction. Your morning routine isn't just about time management. It's about emotional management. It's about mental ownership. The mental reset button. Each morning is a clean slate. Yesterday's mistakes, frustrations, or distractions don't have to carry into today, but only if you choose to reset. When you wake up, take a few moments to remind yourself, this is a new beginning. The past doesn't own you. The future hasn't happened yet. The present moment is your stage, and the performance starts now. Many people drag old emotions into a new day. They replay old problems before they've even had breakfast. But a champion mindset doesn't do that. A champion wipes the slate clean, recenters and focuses on the next opportunity. One of the most powerful things you can say in the morning is, "Today I begin again." That single sentence can erase the weight of yesterday and replace it with fresh energy. Feed your mind before the world does. What you feed your mind first thing in the morning matters more than most people realize. If you start your day with news, negativity, or gossip, you plant seeds of distraction and anxiety. But if you start with gratitude, learning, or reflection, you plant seeds of focus and peace. The first 10 minutes after waking are precious. They shape your mental chemistry for hours. During that time, your mind is open, suggestible, and sensitive to what you give it. Try this simple rule. Don't let the world speak to you before you speak to yourself. Before checking your phone, check your purpose. Before reading the news, read your goals. Before reacting to noise, reconnect with your vision. That one shift from reaction to intention transforms not just your mornings but your entire life. Morning questions that create focus. Ask yourself 3 questions every morning. What kind of person do I want to be today? What truly matters most right now? What one thing can I do that would make today a win? These questions give direction to your thoughts. They prevent your energy from scattering and keep your focus sharp. Because when you know what matters, distractions lose their power. You'll notice that these questions are simple. That's the point. Complexity is the enemy of consistency. Simple questions, repeated daily, create powerful clarity. Energy is a choice. Your morning energy is not an accident. It's a product of your habits. How you breathe, move, and think in the morning directly shapes how you feel. Try standing tall, taking deep breaths, and moving your body. You'll feel your state shift instantly. That's not magic. That's biology. Your posture and your breathing communicate directly with your brain. When you act strong, you start to feel strong. Many people wait to feel motivated before they move. The secret is the opposite. Move first, and motivation follows. So take control of your energy early. Stretch, walk, drink water. Do something that reminds your body that it's alive and capable. You don't need a 2-hour routine to feel powerful. You just need 10 intentional minutes, where you remind yourself, I am in control. A short story of change. A young entrepreneur once said, "My life changed the day I stopped waking up to my phone and started waking up to my purpose." For years, he would open his eyes, scroll through messages, and feel anxious before his feet hit the floor. One morning, he decided to change. He created a simple rule: no phone for the first 30 minutes. Instead, He wrote down 3 things he was grateful for and 1 goal for the day. Within weeks his focus improved, his stress dropped, his business grew, but more importantly, his confidence returned. Why? Because every morning, he won the first battle, the battle of his mind. Creating your own morning ritual. You don't need to copy someone else's routine. You just need one that fits you. Here's a simple structure to build around. Wake with awareness. Don't rush. Breathe. Acknowledge that a new day has begun. Move your body, even for a few minutes. Motion awakens motivation. Feed your mind. Read, listen, or reflect on something positive. Plan your day. Choose your top priorities. Keep it clear and simple. Start with purpose. Say out loud, "Today, I will give my best." It's not about doing it perfectly. It's about doing it consistently, even on tough days, even when you don't feel like it. The real reward. When you start your day with the right mindset, everything else flows more smoothly. You become less reactive, more intentional and more confident in your choices. You'll notice that small annoyances no longer throw you off balance. You'll handle challenges with calm instead of panic. And you'll end your days feeling accomplished instead of exhausted. That's the real reward of the morning mindset. The quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are leading your day, not chasing it. Final thought. Your morning is your foundation. Build it strong, and the rest of your day stands firm. Build it weak, and everything wobbles. So tomorrow morning, when your alarm rings, remember this truth. You're not just waking up to another day. You're waking up to another chance to think better, live better, and win the day before it even begins. That is the essence of the morning mindset. Calm, intentional, and unstoppable. Chapter 2. Energy first. Move before you think. Before your mind can lead, your body must wake up. Before you can focus, plan, or create, your energy has to come alive. That's the first real secret of daily success. Move before you think. Every morning, your body is like a sleeping engine. It doesn't matter how great your goals are, or how clear your intentions feel. If the engine isn't running, nothing moves. Most people try to start their day by thinking their way into action, but winners do the opposite. They act their way into thinking. Why? Movement comes first. Your energy is your foundation. Without it, even the best mindset fades by noon. Your body and mind are partners. When one wakes up, the other follows. When one drags, the other collapses. Science proves this too. The moment you start moving, even lightly, your heart pumps faster, your lungs expand, and your brain gets more oxygen. In just a few minutes, your chemistry changes. Stress drops. Focus sharpens. Motivation returns. You don't need to run a marathon. You don't even need a gym. You just need motion. Deliberate, consistent motion that tells your body, we're alive, we're capable, and we're ready. The trap of mental fatigue. Have you ever woken up and felt mentally heavy, like your thoughts are slow, your motivation is gone, and you're already tired before the day begins? That's not a lack of discipline, that's a lack of energy flow. Your body stores energy overnight, but it needs movement to release it. Without movement, that energy stays trapped. You can drink coffee, scroll your phone, or give yourself a pep talk, but none of it will work as well as simply moving. Think about it this way. Energy creates clarity. When your body is still, your thoughts are cloudy. But when your body moves, your mind begins to clear. It's like shaking the dust off a window. Suddenly you can see again. That's why the best athletes, leaders and performers start their days with motion. They know that physical activation leads to mental activation. A morning in motion. Imagine this scene. You wake up, and instead of reaching for your phone, you reach for your breath. You take a deep inhale, stretch your arms, and sit up straight. You stand, roll your shoulders, maybe walk around the room. You move your body for just 5 minutes. Slowly, deliberately, with awareness. Something happens. Your pulse quickens. Your eyes open wider. Your mind starts to catch up. You feel awake. Not just physically but mentally. That's the shift. You've gone from passive to active. From sluggish to alert. From reactive to ready. You've told your body, I'm in control now. And that single moment of motion sets the tone for your entire day. The energy equation. Your level of energy often decides your level of success. 2 people can have the same talent, the same skill, and even the same goals, but the one with higher energy always wins. Why? Because energy amplifies everything. It makes your thoughts sharper, your communication clearer, and your confidence stronger. It's easy to underestimate how much energy affects attitude. When your energy is low, problems look bigger, doubt feels heavier, small obstacles seem impossible. But when your energy is high, you can handle anything. You think better, speak better, and lead better. Energy is not just fuel, it's perspective. The morning movement principle. Let's call this the morning movement principle. Move your body early, and your mind will follow. This isn't about fitness. It's about activation. It's about starting the day in motion so that your emotions don't control you. A short walk, a stretch, a few push-ups, or even dancing to your favorite song. All of these count. What matters most is not what you do, but that you do something. Here's a simple formula to remember. Movement equals momentum. When your body moves, momentum begins. When momentum begins, motivation grows. A true story of change. There was a young teacher named Marcus, who always felt tired. He loved his work, but by mid-morning, his focus was gone. His energy would crash before lunch, and he'd spend the rest of the day trying to recover. One morning, out of frustration, he decided to try something new. Instead of starting his day with coffee and emails, he went for a 10-minute walk outside. No music, no distractions, just motion and breathing. That small habit changed everything. Within a week, Marcus noticed he was calmer, more patient, and more confident in class. He said, I stopped waiting to feel good. I started moving to feel good. That's the power of action over hesitation. Breaking the thought loop. Most people wait to move until they feel ready. They wait for motivation to arrive. But motivation doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. Have you noticed that when you sit still too long, you start to overthink everything? Your brain loops between doubts, plans, and what-ifs. The way out isn't more thought, it's more movement. When you move, you shift from your mind to your body, from worry to action. That's why even the simplest physical act, like standing tall or walking with purpose, can instantly change your mental state. So when you feel stuck, don't ask, what should I do? Just stand up, move, breathe, action first, thinking later. Simple morning activation routine. You don't need fancy equipment or long workouts. Start small, keep it consistent. Here's a simple 5-minute activation you can try tomorrow morning. Breathe deeply for 1 minute. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Calm your mind. Stretch for 1 minute. Reach up. Twist gently. Move your neck and shoulders. Do 30 seconds of movement. Jumping jacks, squats or a brisk walk. Stand tall for 1 minute. Lift your chest. Roll your shoulders back. And hold strong posture. Finish with gratitude. Take 1 minute to think of 3 things you're thankful for. That's it. 5 minutes. But the effect lasts all day. You've activated your energy and taken control of your state. Protecting your energy. It's not enough to create energy. You have to protect it. The world will constantly try to drain your focus. Negative conversations, digital distractions, and even self-doubt can pull from your mental battery. Protect your energy by being intentional about your inputs. Start your day in motion, not in consumption. Start with awareness, not anxiety. Remember, your energy is sacred. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't lead from a place of exhaustion. Energy builds identity. When you choose to move before you think, something powerful happens over time. You stop being the kind of person who hesitates. You become the kind of person who acts. Your energy becomes your identity. You start to see yourself as proactive, disciplined and alive. You stop waiting for ideal conditions and start creating them. Each morning, that first moment of movement reminds you that you are capable, that you're not a passenger in your day. You're the driver. Final thought. Energy is the language of life. It speaks louder than words, stronger than thoughts, and clearer than plans. When you move, you tell your body that you're ready. You tell your mind that it's time. You tell the world that you've shown up. So tomorrow morning, before you think, before you scroll, before you worry, stretch, walk, breathe. Let your body lead the way, because when you start with energy, everything else flows more easily. Focus, confidence, creativity, and momentum. You can't think your way into a powerful day. You have to move your way into it. That's the rule of success. Energy first. Always. Chapter 3. Feed the mind, not the noise. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it grows. Every thought, every word you hear, every image you see becomes a seed. The question is, are you planting wisdom or weeds? Every day, the world competes for your attention. From the moment you wake up, notifications, headlines, and endless voices begin to fight for a place in your mind. And if you don't choose what to feed your thoughts, the noise will choose for you. That's why this chapter matters, because the quality of your mind determines the quality of your day, and the quality of your day determines the quality of your life. The morning trap. Most people begin their day by feeding their mind junk. They scroll through social media. They check messages. They watch the news. Within minutes, their peace is gone, replaced by comparison, anxiety, and distraction. They don't even realize it's happening. But their attention, the most valuable currency they own, is already being spent on what doesn't matter. You can't win the day if you start it by drowning your mind in noise. You must learn to guard your mental diet as carefully as you guard your physical one. When you wake up, your mind is open, sensitive, and impressionable. Whatever you put in during those first moments shapes your emotions, your focus, and even your confidence. If the first thing you see is chaos, your mind prepares for chaos. But if the first thing you see is peace, gratitude or purpose, your mind begins to build a day that reflects it. The power of input. Your mind is a processor. It can only produce what it has been fed. If you feed it confusion, it produces doubt. If you feed it wisdom, it produces clarity. Think about it like this. What you consume determines what you create. If you want to create focus, feed your mind focus. If you want strength, feed your mind strength. You don't pour muddy water into a clean glass and expect to drink something pure. Yet many people do exactly that with their thoughts. They fill their mind with junk information and wonder why they feel stuck, drained or lost. The truth is simple. You can't rise higher than what fills your mind. A story of reprogramming. There's a story of a young woman named Elena. She was talented, ambitious, and full of ideas, but she constantly felt overwhelmed. Every morning she'd wake up, scroll through social media, and compare her life to others. She didn't realize that she was feeding herself insecurity before her day had even started. One day, she decided to try something new. For 1 week, she replaced her phone with a book. She spent the first 15 minutes each morning reading something inspiring, a few pages about discipline, gratitude and purpose. By the end of that week, something changed. She felt calmer, clearer, lighter. The anxiety didn't vanish overnight, but it no longer ruled her. Her world hadn't changed, but her input had. And when the input changed, her perspective changed. That's the secret. Transformation starts with what you feed your mind, becoming the gatekeeper. Every mind needs a gatekeeper, and that gatekeeper is you. Ask yourself before you consume anything, does this help me grow? Does this strengthen my mindset? Does this bring peace or pressure? If the answer is no, close the gate. Not everything deserves your attention. When you let your mind absorb random information, you hand control of your emotions to the outside world. But when you decide what enters, you take that control back. Imagine standing guard at the door of your mind. Every thought, every sound, every message must pass your approval. Only the ones that add value, peace and focus are allowed in. That's what mental discipline looks like. The hidden cost of noise. Noise doesn't just distract, it drains. It pulls small pieces of your energy, focus, and creativity, until you're left exhausted without knowing why. The brain wasn't designed to process thousands of opinions, arguments and updates before breakfast. It's like turning on 10 radios at once, and trying to hear one clear message. When the mind is overwhelmed with noise, it becomes reactive. It can't create. It can't think deeply. It only responds. That's why so many people feel tired before they've done any real work. They've already spent their energy reacting to meaningless input. Noise steals your focus silently, one scroll at a time. The mental nutrition plan. If your thoughts were food, what kind of diet are you on? Are you feeding your mind with wisdom, or with worry, inspiration or distraction? You can't control everything you hear, but you can control what you repeat. You can choose the voices you listen to, the books you read, and the content you absorb. Here's a simple plan to feed your mind intentionally. Start your day with clarity. Read or listen to something that aligns with your goals. It could be a motivational audiobook, scripture, or even your own written affirmations. Limit meaningless consumption. Be mindful of what you scroll, watch, or listen to. Every piece of content either fuels or drains you. Reflect often. Ask yourself, what's been taking most of my attention? If the answer doesn't support your growth, it's time to adjust. End your day with gratitude. Before you sleep, replay 3 things that went right. This resets your mind for rest and renewal. This isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. Knowing that every choice is a seed planted in your mental garden. Silence. is a source of strength. One of the most powerful ways to feed your mind is through silence. Silence is not emptiness. It's nourishment. It's the space where ideas breathe, where emotions settle, and where creativity grows. You don't always need more information. Sometimes you just need quiet. Turn off the noise. Sit in stillness for a few minutes. Let your thoughts slow down until the important ones rise to the surface. Clarity doesn't come from more noise. It comes from less of it. Who are you listening to? Every voice you allow in your head becomes part of your inner dialogue. If you constantly listen to people who complain, criticize, or doubt, their words begin to echo in your own thoughts. But if you surround yourself with positive, disciplined, and driven voices, those echoes become your inner strength. Choose your mental company wisely. Listen to mentors, not mockers. Seek ideas that challenge you to grow, not distractions that keep you small. The most successful people are selective listeners. They understand that what you tune into daily shapes who you become permanently. The law of mental focus. Whatever gets your attention, gets your life. Your focus is like sunlight. Whatever you shine it on begins to grow. If you focus on negativity, it expands. If you focus on gratitude, it expands. This is the law of mental focus. You can't stop thoughts from entering your mind, but you can decide which ones get to stay. When a negative idea shows up, don't wrestle with it. Replace it. Feed your mind with something better. Gratitude replaces complaint. Faith replaces fear. Purpose replaces distraction. Every time you make that switch, your mental muscle grows stronger. The story you keep hearing. Remember this truth: you eventually believe the story you hear the most. So make sure the story you hear is one you want to live. Don't let random voices write your script. Choose the narrative that pushes you forward. Choose the words that remind you who you can become. Every morning, you have two choices. Feed your mind with intention, or feed your mind with noise. One leads to clarity, the other to chaos. Final thought. Your mind is your most valuable asset. It creates every idea, decision, and direction in your life. But it can only create from what it's been fed. So be selective. Be intentional. Guard your attention like gold. Feed your mind inspiration, not interruption. Feed it purpose, not panic. Feed it focus, not fear. Because whatever you feed grows, and whatever you starve fades. If you feed your mind strength, your life will reflect it. If you feed your mind noise, your peace will disappear. So tomorrow morning, before the world tries to speak, make sure you speak first. Remind yourself of your goals, your gratitude, and your purpose. You can't always control the world around you, but you can always control the world within you. That's how you win the morning. By feeding the mind, not the noise. Chapter 4. The Power of a Written Plan. Every success begins in the mind, but it becomes real on paper. Thoughts are invisible, fleeting, and fragile, but the moment you write them down, they take form. They become something you can see, measure, and act on. That's the difference between a wish and a plan. A wish lives in your head, a plan lives in your hands, and the people who win every day are the ones who learn to turn their thoughts into written direction. Why writing changes everything. When you write your goals, your brain engages differently. You move from dreaming to doing. You take an idea that was floating in your imagination and anchor it in reality. Writing clarifies what you want. It removes the fog of uncertainty. You can't write a vague dream. You're forced to define it. That's why writing your goals is more than a motivational exercise. It's an act of commitment. The mind forgets. The paper remembers. When life gets busy, when distractions pull you off track, your written plan stays still, a silent reminder of where you're going and why. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need a fancy planner or perfect handwriting. All you need is intention. The simple act of writing down what matters most can transform your focus, your energy and your results. The invisible cost of not planning. Let's look at the opposite side. Most people keep their plans in their head. They think about what they want, what they should do and what they hope will happen. But because it's never written, it's never clear. And what's unclear rarely becomes real. When you rely only on memory, you end up reacting instead of creating. You drift from one task to another, pulled by urgency instead of guided by purpose. You feel busy but not productive, active but not aligned. That's what happens when your days lack a written plan. They blur together. You lose track of progress, and eventually you lose momentum. But when you write things down, your life slows down long enough for you to take control. You stop drifting and start directing. You move from being a passenger to being the pilot of your own time. A story of clarity. There's a story about a man named Daniel who always felt like he was running behind. Every morning he'd wake up stressed, rushing from one responsibility to another. He worked hard, but nothing seemed to move forward. One evening, out of frustration, he decided to write down everything that was on his mind. Goals, ideas, tasks, worries. He filled 2 pages. When he finished, he felt lighter. The next morning he reviewed what he wrote and chose 3 main tasks for the day. That small habit, writing and reviewing, changed everything. Within weeks, Daniel noticed he wasn't reacting anymore. He was planning. He wasn't running behind the day. He was running it. He said, "Writing gave me control over my own mind." That's the hidden magic of putting things on paper. It turns confusion into clarity. The law of the written word. There's a reason written plans work so powerfully. It's because writing is both visual and emotional. You see your goals and you feel their reality. When something stays in your head, it feels distant, someday thinking. But when you write it down, it becomes today thinking. You move it from imagination to action. Think about it. The world's greatest achievements began as written plans, blueprints, notes, outlines, journals. People didn't just think their way to success. They wrote their way there. Writing builds belief. Each word is a brick in the foundation of your success. Planning turns intention into direction. It's one thing to want success. It's another to plan for it. A written plan gives your mind a roadmap. It tells you what to focus on and what to ignore. When you plan your day, you take charge of your time. When you plan your week, you take charge of your progress. When you plan your life, you take charge of your destiny. And here's something important. Planning doesn't limit freedom. It creates it. Because when you know what truly matters, you can say no to what doesn't. Without a plan, every opportunity looks appealing. With a plan, only the right ones do. Simple daily planning ritual. You don't need hours to plan. A few focused minutes each morning or night is enough. Here's a simple rhythm that works. Write your top 3 priorities. Not everything, just the 3 that truly move you forward. Set your focus blocks. Decide when you'll work on each priority. Protect those hours like gold. Add small wins. Write one personal action, a call, a note or a reflection that makes you feel accomplished. End with gratitude. Write one thing you're thankful for. It keeps your plan grounded in perspective. This routine is small but powerful. It keeps your attention sharp, and your emotions balanced. Writing creates accountability. When you write something down, you make a promise, not to the world, but to yourself. That promise becomes a mirror of your integrity. Anyone can speak goals. Few people write them and hold themselves accountable. Writing is how you measure if your actions match your intentions. If you said you'd do something and it's not on paper, it's easy to forget. But when you write it down and see it daily, you're reminded. This is who I said I'd be. That quiet accountability builds confidence. You begin to trust yourself again. You start keeping small promises, and those small promises grow into powerful discipline. The planning mindset. The goal of planning is not to control everything, it's to create alignment. Your written plan doesn't have to predict the future. It simply gives you direction in the present. When things go wrong, and they will, a written plan helps you adjust without losing sight of your vision. You don't have to start over. You just turn the page, rewrite, and refocus. That's the mindset of winners. They don't abandon the plan when life changes. They adapt it. They treat their plan as a living document, flexible but always focused. A small practice, with big results. Try this for 1 week each morning. Write your top goal for the day on a piece of paper, not in your phone, on paper. Keep it visible where you'll see it often. You'll notice something powerful. You'll start making decisions that align with that goal. You'll speak differently. You'll move with more intention. By the end of the week, that single line will have shaped your behavior far more than you expected. Because what's written reminds you every time you see it. That's how small notes lead to big results. From plan to performance. A written plan doesn't guarantee success. It guarantees direction. The plan itself won't do the work, but it will remind you what the work is. When you combine planning with action, you become unstoppable. Each day becomes a step in a deliberate path rather than a reaction to chaos. And when you stack those written days one after another, they become a pattern of progress. That pattern turns into momentum. That momentum turns into mastery. That's the real power of a written plan. It transforms effort into progress, and progress into success. Final thought. If your life feels scattered, start writing. If your goals feel distant, start writing. If your days feel busy but not fulfilling, start writing. Writing is not just organization, it's transformation. It's the bridge between your thoughts and your reality. So tonight, before you end your day, grab a pen. Write down what matters tomorrow. Write down who you want to become. Because when you write it, you see it. When you see it, you believe it. And when you believe it, you begin to live it. That's the power of a written plan. It doesn't just map your day. It builds your future, one line at a time. Chapter 5. Focus on the one thing that matters most. Every day asks the same quiet question. What will you give your attention to today? Your answer to that question decides everything. Your progress, your peace, your results. Because the truth is, success doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right thing with full attention. You win the day not by scattering your energy across 20 tasks, but by focusing it on one thing that truly matters. The illusion of busyness. In our modern world, it's easy to mistake movement for progress. We fill our days with activity, emails, messages, meetings, and multitasking, but end up finishing the day feeling exhausted and unfulfilled. Busyness feels productive, but it often hides a lack of focus. You can run fast in circles and still get nowhere. Every successful person eventually learns this truth. You can do many things, but you can't do them all well at once. Focus is what separates the busy from the effective. It's not about how much you do. It's about how deeply you commit to the one thing that moves the needle. The law of the vital few. There's a timeless principle known as the Pareto rule, or the 80-20th principle. It says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. That means most of what you do every day contributes very little to your success, but a small handful of actions, your vital few, create the biggest impact. The challenge is identifying them. The victory is staying loyal to them. Ask yourself, what few actions make the biggest difference in my day, my work or my goals? Once you find them, protect them, build your routine around them, because that's where your power lies, in focusing your energy on what truly matters. The power of deep work. Our world rewards quick responses, constant updates and instant access. But success, real success, comes from depth, not speed. When you give one task your full attention, you enter a mental state called flow. Time disappears, distractions fade, you perform at your best. Deep work is rare because distraction is easy, but that rarity is what makes focus so valuable. In a distracted world, a focused person becomes unstoppable. You can achieve more in 2 hours of deep focused work than in an entire day of scattered effort. That's not opinion. That's the math of concentration. So if you want to win every day, protect your focus like a sacred space. Schedule it, defend it, let nothing interrupt it. A story of simple focus. There was a young craftsman named Arif, who wanted to build furniture that would last for generations, but he struggled to finish his projects. He would start one, then get distracted by another. His workshop was full of half-finished tables, chairs and designs, all full of potential, none complete. One evening his mentor visited and said, "Arif, you're not lacking talent, you're lacking focus. Choose one project and don't touch anything else until it's done." Arif took his advice. He chose one table. He worked on it every day until it was finished. It was beautiful. When he finally completed it, he said, "I learned more from finishing one piece than I ever did from starting 10. That's the lesson. Success is found in completion, not in motion. Focus gives power to your effort. The distraction trap. Every day, distractions whisper, "Check this, try that, look here, respond now." And each time you listen, your focus fractures, your energy splits, your progress slows. The human mind isn't built for constant switching. Every time you jump between tasks, your brain needs time to refocus. That means every distraction, even small ones, costs you more than you think. It's not just about losing minutes. It's about losing momentum. That's why focus must become your discipline. You must learn to say no to many good things, so you can say yes to the best thing. Clarity creates power. You can't focus on what you haven't clarified. If you don't know your priorities, everything will look urgent. Take a few minutes each morning to ask yourself, what is the single most important task today? If I could only complete one thing, what would make today a success? Write it down. Look at it often. Make it your main mission for the day. Once you know your one thing, everything else becomes easier to manage. Decisions become simpler. Distractions lose their pull. Clarity gives your mind permission to stop wandering. It points your energy in one direction, forward. The cost of split attention. Imagine holding a magnifying glass under the sun. If you keep moving it around, the light spreads and nothing happens. But if you hold it steady on one point, the concentrated light creates fire. That's what focus does to your potential. It turns light into heat. It turns motion into momentum. Split attention, on the other hand, keeps you lukewarm, always working but never igniting. You don't need more hours. You need more intensity in the hours you already have. How to build a focus habit. Focus isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Here's a simple structure to train it daily. Define your one thing. Each morning identify the single most important task for the day. Create a focus block. Schedule 60 to 90 minutes of uninterrupted time to work only on that one task. Remove distractions. Silence your phone, close tabs. Clear the space around you. Start the timer and dive in. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for progress. Review your results. When the time is up, reflect on what worked and what didn't. This simple rhythm, repeated daily, strengthens your focus muscle. It teaches your mind to go deep, not wide. The courage to simplify. Focus also takes courage. It means letting go of things that don't serve your bigger picture. We often hold on to too much. Too many goals, too many obligations, too many distractions disguised as opportunities. But growth doesn't come from addition. It comes from elimination. The more you simplify, the more you amplify. Simplicity is not laziness. It's precision. It's clarity. It's the decision to invest your time where it truly counts. So don't chase everything that glitters. Choose what truly grows you. The discipline of completion. There's a unique kind of satisfaction that comes from finishing what you start. Completion builds confidence. It proves to yourself that you can follow through. Each completed task strengthens your self-trust, and self-trust is the foundation of success. When you make a habit of finishing, your focus becomes sharper, your confidence stronger, and your results greater. So don't aim to start 10 things. Aim to finish one, because finished is better than perfect. And focus makes finishing possible. A life of purposeful attention. At the end of each day, ask yourself one question. Did I give my best attention to what mattered most? If the answer is yes, you've won the day, no matter how much else was left undone. You can't control everything that happens around you, but you can control where you direct your attention. And that control, that focus, is the ultimate advantage in a distracted world. Final thought. Focus is not just about productivity. It's about purpose. It's how you honor your time, your goals, and your potential. Every day, the world will tempt you to chase everything. But remember, greatness is built by those who chase one thing at a time with full attention and heart. So tomorrow, when you begin your day, choose your one thing. Give it your full energy. Protect it from distraction. Finish it with pride. Because the secret to winning every day isn't doing more. It's doing what matters most and doing it well. That's the power of focus. The art of mastering your attention to master your life. Chapter 6. The Midday Reset. Refuel and refocus. Every day has two halves, the morning and the afternoon. Most people start strong in the morning, but fade as the hours pass. Energy dips, focus slips, and productivity slowly drains away. The truth is, it's not the morning that decides how successful your day becomes. It's the middle. What you do in the middle of the day determines whether you finish strong or fall behind. That's where the midday reset comes in. A deliberate pause to refuel your body, refocus your mind, and regain your momentum. The midday wall. We've all felt it. That heavy, sluggish feeling that creeps in after lunch or hours of constant work. Your eyes blur. Your thoughts slow down. Your motivation dips. You tell yourself, I'll push through, but your performance quietly slips away. This isn't a sign of weakness. It's biology. The body follows natural cycles of energy and alertness. After several hours of focus, the brain needs renewal. When you ignore that need, you drain your mental battery until it's empty. The solution isn't to push harder, it's to pause smarter. Because recovery isn't the opposite of work, it's a part of it. The science of renewal. Your brain is like a muscle. It can only perform at peak strength for so long before it needs to recharge. Studies show that attention begins to decline after about 90 minutes of continuous focus. Without rest, your decision-making weakens and your creativity fades. But here's the good news. Even short breaks can fully reset your mind. A few minutes of stillness, movement or mindful breathing can restore clarity and energy far better than hours of caffeine or willpower. The key is to pause with intention, not distraction. Scrolling through your phone or checking emails doesn't count as rest. Those activities may feel like a break, but they keep your brain active and unfocused. A real reset comes from stepping away to breathe, move, reflect or refresh. Why you need a midday routine. The most successful performers, from athletes to CEOs, know this truth. It's not how long you go without stopping, but how well you recover along the way. You don't win a marathon by sprinting the first half. You win by pacing yourself, balancing energy with recovery. Your midday reset is the same. It's your checkpoint. A time to check your fuel, adjust your direction, and ensure your afternoon aligns with your priorities. Without it, you risk finishing your day reactive, tired and unfocused. With it you end your day calm, productive and in control. The power of a pause. Let's imagine your day like a flight. You take off strong in the morning. Clear skies, strong focus, smooth momentum. But halfway through, turbulence hits. Calls, messages, decisions, interruptions, they shake your focus. Now if the pilot ignored all signals and just pushed through, what would happen? The flight would go off course. But a wise pilot doesn't push blindly. They pause, check instruments, adjust direction and continue with confidence. That's what a midday reset does for you. It helps you correct your course before you drift too far. The 3 elements of a midday reset. There are 3 simple parts to a powerful midday reset. Refuel, reflect and refocus. 1. Refuel the body. Energy begins in the body. You can't think clearly if your body is running on fumes. Drink water. Eat something light but nourishing. Step outside for a few minutes of sunlight and movement. Even a short walk can refresh your mood and stimulate creativity. Avoid heavy meals or endless caffeine. They may wake you up temporarily but often lead to an energy crash later. The goal is steady energy, not sudden spikes. Treat your body like an engine. Give it quality fuel, not junk. 2. Reflect on progress. Once your energy is back, take a few moments to think. Ask yourself, what's gone well so far today? What distracted me or slowed me down? What do I still need to finish? You're not judging yourself. You're observing. Reflection helps you identify small adjustments before the day gets away from you. It's how you turn experience into improvement. 3. Refocus with intention. Now choose how you'll finish the day. What's your top priority for the afternoon? What one task, if completed, would make today feel like a win? Write it down. Take a deep breath. Begin again. Not rushed but recharged. A real-world example. There's a story about an architect named Lena, who used to work 10-hour days straight through. She rarely paused. By evening, she was mentally drained and emotionally flat. One day, her mentor noticed and said, "You're treating your mind like a machine, but even machines need cooling time." So Lena tried something new. Every day after lunch, she took a 10-minute walk outside. No phone, no music, just silence and movement. Then she'd sit for 5 minutes and write her 3 top tasks for the afternoon. After a week, she noticed a huge shift. She felt lighter, more creative, and far less stressed. The same workload felt easier because she had learned the rhythm of renewal. Her mentor smiled and said, "You didn't slow down, you sped up." By learning when to pause, the art of stepping back. One of the greatest mistakes in productivity is believing that rest is weakness. In truth, rest is wisdom. The best minds in history, scientists, artists, and thinkers, all understood the value of stepping back. Einstein often took long walks to clear his thoughts. Steve Jobs would sit in silence before making big decisions. Great ideas rarely appear when the mind is crowded. They surface when the mind is calm. So when you feel stuck or tired, don't push harder. Step back. Sometimes clarity hides behind stillness. How to create your own midday reset routine. You don't need an hour to reset. You just need 5 to 15 minutes of full presence. Here's a simple structure to follow. Pause and breathe. Close your eyes. Take 10 slow breaths. Let go of tension in your shoulders and jaw. Stand or move. Stretch. Walk or step outside. Movement restores energy flow. Drink water. Hydration refreshes your brain and body instantly. Reflect and recenter. Ask, am I on track with my top goal today? Plan the finish. Write one clear intention for the rest of the day. It's a short ritual, but it brings order back to chaos. It's not wasted time. It's invested clarity. Avoiding the afternoon crash. Many people lose their afternoon focus because they confuse fatigue with failure. When you hit that wall, you might think, I'm losing discipline. But what's really happening is that your brain needs fuel, oxygen or direction. So instead of criticizing yourself, simply reset. Get up, stretch, drink water, step outside, review your plan. You'll be amazed how quickly your mind recovers when your body gets a moment to breathe. Remember, even champions rest between rounds. The power of restarting. The beauty of life is that you can restart any time. You don't have to wait for a new day, a new week or a new year. You can reset at noon and completely change the direction of your day. If the morning didn't go as planned, no problem. If you made mistakes, let them go. If you lost focus, reclaim it. Every reset is a reminder that you are still in control. The day isn't over until you decide it's over. The emotional reset. A true midday reset also includes the emotions. By the middle of the day, frustration or stress can build quietly in the background. If you don't release it, it will shape how you think and act in the afternoon. Take a short moment to check in with yourself. How do I feel right now? What's weighing on my mind? Breathe through it. Don't suppress it. Acknowledge it. Then release it. A calm mind performs far better than a tense one. Emotional balance is the foundation of sustained focus. Finishing strong. Once you've refueled and refocused, approach the rest of the day like a fresh start. You've recharged your energy, realigned your priorities, and reclaimed your clarity. Now move forward with purpose. Every strong finish begins with a smart reset. Don't aim to run the entire day without pausing. Aim to renew in the middle so you can perform better at the end. Because it's not the number of hours that define your success. It's the quality of your energy within those hours. Final thought. Your body and mind speak the same language. Both need rhythm, rest and renewal. The midday reset is not a luxury. It's a necessity. It's your moment to pause, breathe, and remember why you started the day in the first place. So tomorrow, when the afternoon slump arrives, don't fight it. Honor it. Step back. refuel, refocus. Because when you master the art of the reset, you don't just finish your day stronger. You live your life calmer, clearer, and more in control. That's how winners stay ahead, not by running non-stop, but by knowing exactly when to pause, refuel, and begin again. Chapter 7. The Discipline of Consistency. Discipline builds the path. Consistency walks it. You can have the greatest plan, the clearest goals, and the strongest start, but if you don't stay consistent, none of it lasts. Success is never built in one day. It's built by what you do every day. The discipline of consistency is the quiet power behind all great achievements. It's not dramatic. It doesn't shout. It simply shows up, again and again, until the results can't be ignored. The hidden power of repetition. Consistency is boring, and that's why most people give up on it. They crave excitement, change, and instant rewards. But growth doesn't work that way. Growth is invisible at first. It hides beneath the surface, waiting for persistence to pull it out. Think of a seed planted in the ground. You water it every day, but for weeks, nothing seems to happen. Then one morning, a small green sprout appears. That's consistency, quiet, patient effort that compounds into visible success. Every time you repeat a good habit, you're casting a vote for the person you're becoming. Each act of discipline builds momentum, even when you can't yet see the progress. The truth about motivation. Motivation is a spark. It gets you started. Consistency is the fire that keeps you going. If you rely on motivation alone, you'll work hard on good days and disappear on bad ones. But when you build consistency through discipline, you work anyway. The truth is, consistency doesn't care about feelings. It doesn't ask if you're tired, busy, or uninspired. It simply asks, will you show up today? And when you answer yes, even in small ways, you separate yourself from 90% of people who stop when it gets hard. Motivation may start the journey, but discipline finishes it. A story of unseen progress. There was a man named Karim who wanted to get in shape. He started running every morning. At first it was painful. His legs hurt, his lungs burned, and his mind resisted. After 2 weeks, he saw no change in his appearance. He was tempted to quit, but instead, he told himself, I'll just run for 10 minutes, no matter what. So he kept going, 10 minutes a day. No excuses. Weeks turned into months. He barely noticed the change at first, but then his breathing became easier. His posture improved. His clothes fit better. People began to ask what his secret was. He smiled and said, I just didn't stop. That's the power of consistency. It rewards those who endure the dull, invisible part of progress. Consistency creates identity. When you show up consistently, you start to see yourself differently. You no longer say, I'm trying to be disciplined. You begin to say, I am disciplined. Your actions shape your identity, and your identity shapes your future actions. Each consistent effort strengthens the belief that you are capable, reliable, and strong. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. One big burst of effort may impress people, but steady effort transforms you. The enemy of consistency: excuses. Excuses are small lies that protect comfort and destroy progress. They sound reasonable. I'm too tired. I'll do it tomorrow. I need a break. But every excuse builds a habit of delay, not success. To master consistency, you must silence the voice of comfort and listen to the voice of commitment. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep the promise. When you miss a day, Don't miss two. When you fall short, don't give up. The goal is not perfection. It's persistence. Because in the end, consistency doesn't demand that you never fail. It only demands that you never quit. Small steps, big momentum. The greatest misconception about success is that it comes from massive action. In truth, it comes from small repeated actions over time. One chapter a day becomes a book. One workout a day becomes strength. One small act of kindness a day becomes character. The daily effort may feel small, but over time it compounds, like interest in a savings account. Each deposit builds on the last, until growth becomes exponential. You don't need to do more. You need to do enough. Consistently. The rhythm of routine. Your routine is the container that holds your discipline. When you create a rhythm for your day, waking at the same time, working with structure, reflecting regularly, you reduce the need for decision-making. You make consistency automatic. The best routines aren't rigid. They're reliable. They give you structure without suffocating your freedom. When you master your routine, you free your mind from chaos. Your discipline thrives when your day has rhythm. How to build the discipline of consistency. Consistency doesn't come naturally. It's trained. Here's a simple framework to strengthen it every day. Start small. Choose one simple habit you can't fail at. Consistency grows from success, not struggle. Set a non-negotiable time. Attach your habit to a fixed moment. After breakfast, before bed, or right after work. Track your progress. Use a notebook or app to see your streak. The visual proof motivates your brain to continue. Expect resistance. You won't always feel like it. Do it anyway. The hard days count double. Reward completion. Celebrate showing up, not the result. The act itself is victory. You don't build consistency by doing more. You build it by doing it again. A short story of persistence. There's an old Japanese saying, fall 7 times, stand up 8. A writer once shared how this philosophy saved his career. For years he wrote every morning, even when he had no readers. He doubted himself daily, but his rule was simple: write 1 page no matter what. After 10 years, one of his small stories gained attention, then another. Eventually he became a best-selling author. When asked for his secret, he said, "It wasn't talent. It was time." That's the essence of consistency: staying long enough for time to reward your effort. The compound effect of discipline. Discipline and consistency multiply each other. Discipline starts the action. Consistency compounds the result. When you practice something daily, even for a few minutes, you create exponential improvement. One day you'll look back and realize that the person you've become is the result of thousands of small, consistent moments of effort. Consistency turns effort into excellence. Staying consistent in tough seasons. There will be times when life feels heavy, when motivation fades, plans fail, or progress stalls. In those moments, consistency becomes more than a habit. It becomes your anchor. Even if you can't give your best, give your minimum. Show up in small ways. Keep your connection to progress alive. Because it's not about being perfect every day. It's about never losing the rhythm of forward motion. Consistency during difficulty is what separates winners from quitters. Final thought. Discipline is the decision to begin. Consistency is the decision to continue. It's not flashy. It's not exciting. But it's what builds everything worth having. Confidence, success, mastery and peace. So don't chase intensity. Chase consistency. Don't aim to be perfect today. Aim to be present again tomorrow, because the person who shows up again and again will always go farther than the one who only shows up when it's easy. That's the discipline of consistency, the daily act of proving to yourself that you're still in the game. And when you master that, you don't just win a day, you win a lifetime. Chapter 8. The Evening Reflection. Every day ends with a question. Did I live this day well? The answer to that question is what shapes your tomorrow. Evening reflection is not just a ritual. It's a reset. It's the quiet conversation between who you were today and who you want to be tomorrow. It's how you close the day with clarity, peace and purpose. If the morning is about direction, the evening is about evaluation. You begin the day with intention, and you end it with reflection. That rhythm creates growth. It transforms your daily experiences into wisdom. Why reflection matters. Life moves fast. Without reflection, it blurs. Days blend together, and time slips by unnoticed. But when you take a few moments each night to pause and look back, you slow life down. You turn ordinary moments into lessons. You begin to see patterns. What's working, what's draining, what's improving, and what needs change. Reflection is not about judgment. It's about awareness. It's not asking, did I fail? It's asking, what did I learn? When you build this habit, every day becomes a classroom, and you become both the student and the teacher of your own growth. The power of the pause. Most people end their day by scrolling, watching, or worrying. Their body rests, but their mind keeps running. The evening reflection offers something different. A pause that brings closure. It allows you to step back from the noise and see the bigger picture. It's like a pilot reviewing the flight before landing. What went smoothly, what turbulence appeared, and what to adjust for the next trip. That brief moment of review changes everything. Because when you go to sleep with clarity, instead of clutter, you wake up ready, not restless. A story of awareness. There was a woman named Amina, who always felt like she was running out of time. She worked hard, yet every day ended the same, feeling behind, tired, and unsatisfied. One night, out of frustration, she decided to write down 3 things: what she accomplished, what she was grateful for, and what she could improve tomorrow. At first it felt simple, even unnecessary, but after a few weeks, she noticed something remarkable. Her stress dropped. Her focus sharpened. She began ending each day with gratitude instead of guilt. She didn't change her job. She changed her awareness. And awareness changed everything. The 3 elements of evening reflection. The best reflections are simple, consistent, and meaningful. You don't need an hour or a journal full of words. A few honest questions are enough to create transformation. Let's call them the 3 R's. Review, recognize, and recommit. Review the day. Ask yourself, what did I accomplish today? Where did I lose focus or energy? What moments stood out, good or bad? Don't judge, just observe. Look at your day as data. The more awareness you build, the better your decisions become. 2. Recognize the good. Gratitude is the anchor of reflection. No matter how the day went, find 3 things, even small ones, to appreciate. Maybe it's a kind word, a finished task, or a peaceful moment. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's meaningful. It's not just about feeling good. Gratitude rewires the brain for optimism, resilience, and hope. 3. Recommit to tomorrow. Finally, choose one thing you'll improve or continue tomorrow. You might say, I'll be more patient, or I'll focus on my top goal earlier. It connects today's lessons with tomorrow's actions. Reflection without recommitment is incomplete. You review to understand, and recommit to evolve. The gift of letting go. The evening reflection isn't only about learning, it's also about releasing. The day is done. What's over is over. Carrying the weight of unfinished tasks or regret into your night is like trying to sleep while holding heavy bags. It drains you. So before bed, forgive yourself for what didn't go perfectly. Write it down if you need to. Then let it go. Say to yourself, I did my best today, and tomorrow I'll do better. That simple sentence brings peace. It clears your mind for rest and renewal. The connection between reflection and growth. Growth doesn't happen by doing more. It happens by understanding more. Reflection turns experience into knowledge. Knowledge turns into wisdom. And wisdom shapes a better tomorrow. Without reflection you repeat the same mistakes. With reflection you refine your approach. Each day becomes an upgrade, not a repeat. This is how consistency and self-awareness merge. You act with purpose during the day, and gain wisdom through reflection at night. A simple nightly practice. Here's a 5-minute practice you can start tonight. Sit in stillness. No screens. No noise. Just a moment of silence. Ask 3 questions. What went well today? What challenged me today? What will I do differently tomorrow? Write 1 sentence of gratitude. Something that made the day meaningful. Release the day. Take a deep breath and mentally close the door on today's worries. Rest intentionally. Remind yourself I've done enough. I am enough. It's a simple structure, but it brings closure, calm and clarity. The reflection mindset. The goal isn't to analyze every detail. It's to understand the direction of your life. Reflection helps you notice the small patterns before they become big problems. Are your actions aligned with your values? Are you spending time on what truly matters? Are you becoming the person you promised yourself you'd be? When you ask these questions often your days stop blending into one another. They become chapters of progress in a meaningful story. Your story. Rest as a reward, not an escape. When you end your day with reflection, rest becomes something you earn, not something you escape into. You sleep with peace instead of pressure. You rest because you've reviewed, appreciated and reset. That mental closure tells your brain it's safe to relax. It says, the day is complete. You can now rest fully. Body, mind and spirit. A real example. The nightly journal of a leader. A well-known entrepreneur once shared that the secret to his mental clarity wasn't morning routines or productivity hacks. It was his nightly review. Every evening before bed, he wrote 3 sentences. 1 success of the day. 1 lesson learned. 1 intention for tomorrow. He said, this simple habit gave me peace at night and progress by morning. That's the beauty of reflection. It's not about perfection. It's about awareness, gratitude and direction. Final thought. The evening reflection is more than a routine. It's a ritual of self-respect. It's how you honor your effort, harvest your lessons and prepare your mind for rest. So tonight, when the day ends and the world grows quiet, take a few minutes just for yourself. Put your phone away. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Ask, what did I give today? What did I gain? What will I carry forward? Then let it all go. Because tomorrow is a new canvas, and reflection is how you arrive ready to paint it with purpose. That's how you end your day like a winner. Not in exhaustion but in awareness. Calm, clear, and grateful. Ready for another day to live, learn and win again. Chapter 9. Rest. Like a winner. Rest. The word sounds simple, but for many, it's one of the hardest disciplines to master. We live in a world that celebrates hustle, noise, and motion. We admire those who never stop, who sleep less, and who always seem to be doing something. But here's the truth. Winners don't just work hard, they rest well. Rest is not laziness. It's strategy. It's the renewal that makes the next victory possible, because no one can win every day if they never recover from the last one. The misunderstanding about rest. Most people think rest means stopping, doing nothing, but real rest is different. It's not the absence of activity, it's the presence of recovery. Rest is when your body repairs. Rest is when your mind resets. Rest is when your spirit regains strength. You can't perform at your best if you're running on empty. A car that never refuels will eventually stop. So will a human being. Rest isn't a reward for finishing the day. It's part of the process that makes tomorrow possible. The hidden cost of exhaustion. Exhaustion doesn't just steal your energy. It steals your clarity. When you're tired, small problems look like mountains. You make slower decisions. You lose patience. You forget what truly matters. Many people wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. They think being tired means they're committed. But exhaustion is not proof of success. It's a warning sign. If your body is screaming for rest, and your mind is constantly racing, you're not winning, you're surviving. And survival is not the same as success. True winners know when to stop pushing. They understand that rest isn't retreat. It's renewal, the law of recovery. Every athlete understands this law. Progress happens in recovery, not just in training. When you work out, you break muscle fibers. When you rest, they heal and grow stronger. Without recovery, growth stops. The same is true in life. Every challenge, every project, every season of hard work puts stress on your mental and emotional muscles. Without deliberate rest, you burn out. Rest is the silent partner of discipline. It completes the cycle. Work, recover, grow, repeat. The rhythm of winners. Winners operate in rhythm, not chaos. They know when to press and when to pause. They give their full effort when it's time to act, and their full presence when it's time to rest. They don't mix the two. When they work, they're all in. When they rest, they're fully disconnected from the noise. That balance gives them a kind of steady energy that most people mistake for luck or natural drive. But it's not luck. It's rhythm. You can't win long-term without rhythm, because every high performer, every leader, every dreamer who lasts understands one truth. Recovery is fuel. A story of burnout and renewal. A young entrepreneur named Samir once built his entire life around productivity. He worked 12-hour days, 7 days a week. He thought rest was for the weak. At first it worked. His business grew fast, but soon he started to fade. His focus scattered, his creativity dulled, and his health suffered. One day his mentor told him, "You're running a marathon like it's a sprint. You'll win the short race, but lose the long one." Samir finally took time off. He began to rest intentionally. Daily walks, early sleep, time away from screens. Slowly his clarity returned. His energy rose. His ideas came back. He said, "I thought rest was wasting time. I learned that rest is how you recover time. That's what rest does. It gives you back what exhaustion steals." The 4 types of rest every winner needs. Not all rest is created equal. To rest like a winner, you need to recharge in 4 key areas. 1. Physical rest. This is the foundation. Sleep, stretching, and stillness. Your body repairs itself only when you rest. Without enough sleep, your focus drops, your emotions swing, and your performance declines. Set a consistent bedtime. Create a calm space free from noise and screens. Treat sleep as your nightly meeting with success. 2. Mental rest. Your mind needs breaks from thinking. That means disconnecting from constant input, news, notifications and decision-making. Schedule no-think moments in your day. Step outside. Sit quietly. Do something creative that doesn't demand logic. Mental stillness clears your inner noise and resets your focus. 3. Emotional rest. Emotional rest means letting go of pressure and expectations. It's giving yourself permission to feel, to breathe, to release. You don't have to be strong every moment. Allow yourself to process the day. Talk to someone you trust, or simply sit with your thoughts. Rest isn't only for the body, it's also for the heart. 4. Spiritual rest. This doesn't always mean religion. It means reconnecting with meaning, reminding yourself why you do what you do. Spend a few minutes each night, in gratitude, prayer, or reflection. Refilling your soul keeps your ambition balanced with peace. Rest is an act of discipline. Ironically, rest requires discipline. It means setting boundaries. It means saying no to unnecessary noise and yes to recovery. It takes strength to close the laptop when the world tells you to keep grinding. It takes wisdom to rest when everyone else is racing. But discipline is not only about doing, it's also about stopping when it's time. You can't pour from an empty cup, and if you don't stop to refill, you'll soon have nothing left to give. The evening wind down. Rest begins long before you fall asleep. It starts with how you end your day. Create a small ritual to help your mind unwind. Turn off your screens. Dim the lights. Stretch your body. Review your day. Write down tomorrow's priorities, so your mind can let go. When you build a calm transition from work to rest, your body learns to relax faster. It's like landing a plane. You don't crash into rest, you glide into it. That's how professionals close their day, with intention and peace. The relationship between rest and growth. Rest doesn't slow you down. It prepares you to move faster. When you're rested, your mind solves problems faster. You make sharper decisions. You're more patient, creative, and alert. Think of rest as sharpening your axe. You can keep swinging a dull blade all day, or you can stop, sharpen it, and cut through twice as much in half the time. Rest gives you that edge. It makes your effort more effective. Rest without guilt. Many people struggle to rest because they feel guilty when they're not working. They believe productivity equals worth. But here's the truth. You are not a machine. You're a human being, not a human doing. You need time to breathe, reflect, and simply be. Winners understand that guilt-free rest is not selfish. It's smart. It's strategic. It allows them to show up tomorrow with strength instead of stress. So, when you rest, rest fully. Don't half work and half relax. Step away with peace. You've earned it. A simple rest routine. Here's a simple nightly routine to help you rest like a winner. 1 hour before bed. Disconnect. Turn off screens and step away from work. 30 minutes before. Reflect. Write down what you accomplished and what you're grateful for. 15 minutes before. Prepare. Stretch lightly. Breathe deeply. And dim the lights. Right before bed. Release. Tell yourself, today is complete. Tomorrow, I begin again. This routine signals to your mind and body that it's safe to rest, and that tomorrow's success is already in motion. Rest is not quitting. Taking a break doesn't mean you've stopped. It means you're preparing for your next chapter. Even nature follows this pattern. The seasons change, the soil rests, and new growth begins. You're part of that same rhythm. You can't be in constant summer. You need winter, the season of rest, reflection and renewal, to grow stronger roots for the next bloom. So don't fear slowing down. Fear burning out before your purpose is fulfilled. Final thought. Rest like a winner, with intention, not avoidance, with gratitude, not guilt, because rest is not what you do after success. It's what makes success sustainable. When you learn to rest, you don't lose time, you gain energy, you think clearer, live calmer, and lead stronger. So tonight when you close your eyes, remind yourself, rest is not the end of progress, it's the preparation for it. The day may be over, but your growth continues. Because winners don't just run, they recover, they rest with purpose, and that's what keeps them unstoppable. Chapter 10. Build momentum. One day at a time. Success rarely happens all at once. It builds quietly and steadily, through consistent effort and daily progress. Each day adds a small brick to the wall of your goals, and when those bricks stack up, momentum begins to take over. Momentum is what transforms discipline into flow. It's that invisible force that makes action feel natural and progress feel inevitable. Once you have it, you don't need to push as hard. It starts to carry you forward. The secret to lasting success isn't in doing more, it's in doing something every day that moves you closer to your vision. The law of momentum. Momentum is like a rolling snowball. It starts small, but as it moves, it gathers strength. Every day you show up, every choice you make, every task you complete, they add weight to that snowball. At first, progress feels slow. You might not see visible results, but the longer you stay consistent, the easier it becomes to keep going. Effort turns into habit. Habit turns into rhythm. Rhythm turns into unstoppable motion. That's the law of momentum. Small, consistent actions create unstoppable progress over time. Why most people lose it? Most people never experience real momentum because they keep starting and stopping. They work hard for a few days, then slow down. They commit to big goals, then quit when progress feels invisible. But here's the truth. Momentum doesn't come from intensity. It comes from continuity. It's not the person who runs the fastest for a day who wins the race. It's the one who never stops running. Every time you quit and restart, you lose the energy you've already built. It's like pushing a car uphill. The hardest part is getting it to move. But once it's rolling, even a small push keeps it going. So if you want to build unstoppable progress, stop resetting your own progress. The power of daily wins. Every day offers a chance to win, even in small ways. Completing a task, keeping a promise, resisting distraction, finishing what you started. These are victories. Each small win sends a signal to your brain. I'm moving forward. That signal builds confidence, motivation and belief. Over time, these wins compound into major breakthroughs. You don't need to conquer the entire mountain today. You just need to take one honest step upward, because one step repeated daily still reaches the top. Momentum doesn't come from giant leaps. It comes from tiny steps done consistently. A story of steady progress. There was a young musician named Leela who dreamed of mastering the piano. She started with passion, practicing for hours each day. But after a few weeks she burned out. Her teacher gave her simple advice. Practice for only 20 minutes, but do it every day. At first it felt too small, but she followed through. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Her progress was steady, and her confidence grew. Years later, when others gave up, she was performing on stage with ease. Her secret, she said, I didn't practice harder than everyone else. I practiced longer. That's the quiet strength of momentum. Steady motion that outlasts intensity. The transition from effort to flow. When you first start something new, effort feels heavy. You have to force yourself to act. But if you stay consistent, something powerful happens. You enter flow. Flow is that state where work feels natural, where habits happen automatically, where motivation is replaced by momentum. You don't have to convince yourself to keep going because movement has become your normal state. That's when the magic happens, when doing the right thing feels easier than avoiding it. But to reach that point, you must first go through the friction. The hardest part is always the start. Keep pushing until movement becomes momentum. Protecting your momentum. Momentum is powerful but fragile. It can be lost quickly if you neglect it. Here are 3 ways to protect it. Don't skip twice. Missing once is human. Missing twice creates a pattern. Guard your streak. Avoid overloading. Too much pressure can break consistency. Sustainable effort beats burnout. Celebrate progress. Acknowledge your daily wins. They remind you that your work matters. Momentum doesn't survive on perfection. It thrives on persistence, turning setbacks into fuel. Momentum doesn't mean everything goes smoothly. You'll face setbacks, slow days and disappointments. But here's the difference between winners and quitters. Winners use setbacks as momentum fuel. When something goes wrong, they don't stop. They adjust. They learn. They move again. Stronger and smarter. Every time you recover from a setback, you double your momentum. Because now you're not just moving forward. You're moving forward with resilience. The compound effect of effort. If you improve just 1% a day, you won't notice much after a week. But after a year, that 1% compounds into extraordinary growth. That's the math of momentum. The small edge repeated daily becomes massive over time. You can't always control the pace, but you can control the direction. Even a slow climb, done daily, leads to transformation. Success isn't built in a rush. It's built in a rhythm. The mindset of forward motion. Momentum is a mindset. It's the decision to stay in motion, no matter how small the step. When you wake up each day, ask yourself one question: what can I do today to move forward, even slightly? Then do it. That one decision keeps the wheel turning. Because momentum doesn't demand perfection, it only demands movement. Even on tired days, show up. Even when it's not exciting, stay consistent. Because motion creates motivation, and motivation sustains motion. That's how winners keep going. They act first and feel inspired later. A simple momentum routine. Here's a practical way to build daily momentum. Start small every morning. Do something that signals action. Make your bed, stretch, plan your day. Focus on one key task. Finish the most important thing before noon. Review progress. Midday. Celebrate what's done. Adjust what's left. Reflect at night. End your day with gratitude and awareness of progress. Repeat this rhythm, day after day, week after week. It may look ordinary, but it produces extraordinary results. A lesson from nature. Think about a river. It doesn't rush all at once. It flows constantly, calmly, persistently. Over time it carves valleys, moves mountains, and shapes landscapes. Your daily actions work the same way. One drop of effort may seem small, but over time it can carve out an entirely new life. That's the beauty of momentum. It makes the impossible achievable through quiet, consistent motion. Final thought. Momentum is the bridge between effort and excellence. You don't need to be the fastest, the smartest, or the most talented. You just need to keep moving forward, one day at a time. The small steps you take today will one day become the milestones of your success story. So keep showing up, keep stacking your wins, keep moving even when you don't feel like it. Because one day you'll look back and realize, it wasn't a single breakthrough that changed your life. It was the momentum you built one consistent day at a time. That's how winners grow. Not through bursts of brilliance, but through steady, unstoppable motion. One day, one action, one victory at a time. Conclusion. The law of the daily win. Every great life is built one day at a time, not in leaps, not in sudden breakthroughs, but through the steady rhythm of daily wins. Winning the day is not about perfection. It's not about finishing every task or avoiding every mistake. It's about making progress, small, meaningful progress, in the direction of your purpose. Because in the end, it's not what you do once in a while that defines you, but what you do every single day. That's the law of the daily win. Small victories, repeated consistently, create extraordinary results. The secret most people miss. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week, and underestimate what they can do in a year. They set huge goals, chase massive change, and burn out before they see results. But winners think differently. They zoom in. They focus on the day in front of them. They ask simple but powerful questions. What can I do today that moves me forward? What habit can I strengthen? What one promise can I keep to myself? Then they do it. Not perfectly but consistently. Because when you stack enough small wins, something amazing happens. Progress becomes your identity. You stop chasing motivation and start living momentum. The ripple effect of daily wins. Every daily win creates a ripple. A better morning leads to a better day. A better day leads to a better week. A better week leads to a better life. That's how transformation truly happens. Not through grand gestures, but through the discipline of repetition. Each small action, a workout, a journal entry, a moment of gratitude, a focused hour of work, adds up quietly. It may not look like much today, but over time it rewires your mindset, strengthens your habits, and shapes your destiny. The secret to a fulfilling life isn't found in intensity. It's found in consistency. A story of the long game. There was once a craftsman who carved wooden sculptures. His pieces were simple but beautiful. Someone asked him how he managed to make every sculpture so perfect. He smiled and said, "I don't try to make it perfect. I just carve a little every day." That's the mindset of the daily win. You don't need to finish the masterpiece in one sitting. You just need to keep carving, keep improving, keep showing up. Because the masterpiece isn't just the result, it's who you become while creating it. From routine to mastery. When you win each day, your routine transforms into mastery. Your habits become automatic. Your mindset becomes sharp. Your confidence grows from proof, not promises. You no longer rely on willpower to push you forward. Momentum takes over. What once felt like effort becomes rhythm. What once felt like struggle becomes strength. That's the beauty of compounding effort. The discipline that once felt difficult becomes the source of your freedom, turning ordinary days into extraordinary results. It's easy to underestimate a single day. One workout, one decision, 1 hour of focus might not seem like much, but over time those single days become the story of your success. You don't need a perfect day to win. You just need an intentional one. Win the morning by showing up with purpose. Win the afternoon by refocusing when energy fades. Win the evening by reflecting and resetting. 3 small wins. That's all it takes to keep your life in motion. And when you repeat that rhythm, day after day, you start to live in alignment with your goals, your values and your potential. The daily win mindset. The daily win mindset is simple. Don't aim for massive change. Aim for steady growth. Don't wait for the right time. Use the time you have. Don't chase perfection. Chase consistency. Ask yourself at the end of each day, did I move forward? Did I grow? Did I give my best within my control? If the answer is yes, you've won the day. Because success is not measured by what you accomplish in a single moment, but by who you become over many moments lived with purpose. Momentum beyond the day. When you master the art of winning the day, you unlock the real secret of momentum. You stop needing massive motivation to act. Action becomes your default. And as the days stack, something shifts. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to see patterns of progress. You start walking taller, thinking clearer, and living more intentionally. That's the power of the daily win. It doesn't just change your schedule, it changes your self-image. The law in action. Here's how to live the law of the daily win. Start with purpose. Each morning set one clear intention for the day. Act with focus. Protect your attention. Do the important before the urgent. Reflect with gratitude. End the day with awareness of what went right. Do this long enough, and you'll notice life starts to move differently. You won't be chasing success anymore. You'll be living it, because success at its core is not an event. It's a lifestyle built through daily victories. Final thought. The law of the daily win reminds us that greatness isn't achieved overnight. It's built quietly, in your routines, your choices, and your persistence. You don't need to control the next year. You just need to control today. And when you do, day after day, you create a rhythm of growth that becomes unstoppable. So as you close this book and prepare for tomorrow, remember this simple truth. You don't have to do everything. Just do something that matters. You don't have to win life in one strike. Just win the day in front of you. Because when you master the day, you master your destiny. That's the law of the daily win. The discipline of showing up, the courage to keep going, and the wisdom to build your future one day at a time.